What's going on? It's Meraki Monday. So now we're going to talk about the Meraki licensing, co-term versus the per device licensing, and we're going to discuss this kind of at a high level. So we're going to also look at a few pros and cons of each, right? And really, the main thing to understand about co-term licensing is that it's going to use a weighted average to set a single expiration date for all of your devices, right? One expiration date for all devices is calculated or recalculated every time you purchase new devices and add those licenses in. All right, by default, Meraki customers are going to be enrolled in the co-termination model. You can opt for per device licensing like I have on your own dashboard. But once you switch to per device licensing, you can't reverse that decision. So you need to decide early on which way you want to go, right? So a couple of things to note, co-term, right? One, termination date. It uses a weighted average to generate that date, right, based on the mathematics that go into that. It's kind of out of scope for what I'm talking about, but just understand that let's say you have 10 devices, right? You add them into the dashboard and you purchase a 3-year license and add that into the dashboard as well, right? So now you've got 3-year license. Let's say your expiration is going to be September 1, 2026. Just throwing out statistics, right? One termination date for all of your devices, right? If you go ahead and then purchase a 1-year license for a new device that you're adding. So now you have 11 devices and you add the 1-year license. Well, it's going to kind of average, you create a weighted average, right? So you might actually see this date go down, right? Because now you're averaging the 1 year and the 3-year licensing, and you might end up with a license that says something like 2025. So that's where, the per device licensing kind of is a little better, in my opinion, because you can manage all those licenses on a per device basis. Right, so basically it gives you the ability to manage those licenses individually. This makes sense if you know you're going to periodically renew licensing. You want to spread out the cost. You want to have different license expire at different times, and you just keep track of that, right? You get the full license, right? So in the same situation here, where you had 10 devices with a 3-year license ending September 1, 2026. You add that 11th device, maybe you only need a 1-year license on that one. Well, that's going to have a separate date, right, for that one device than the first 10. So you're not going to lose anything out. You're not going to average anything. And for me, I think it really makes sense and is a really good option for a lot of people. You need to understand and read the Meraki documentation. Down in the description, there should be a link there for it. Otherwise, you type in Meraki co-term per device licensing into Google. It'll take you right to the Meraki docs, and you can read in a little bit more detail that I'm able to cover here in this video. So what is per device licensing? Per device licensing allows you to, like I said, have multiple different expiration dates on a per device basis, right? You get some benefits from that, right? You get the ability to then kind of transfer your licenses between organizations that you're in control of. You couldn't do that before. So the things that you need to consider for the per device licensing, you want to consider feature set, your activation, right? Expiration dates, and any past licenses that you may have. So a couple of bullet points on that, right? Multiple expiration dates on a per device basis. You can move those licenses around, right? But now you have to keep track of all these different dates. So track different dates there. That last one, it's a given, right? You just got to keep on top of your licensing. And just track it, right? You're not going to have one termination date. And it's purely up to you what works the best for you. But I just wanted to give you a high level overview, kind of the quick couple of bullet points on either one of these. And you can go ahead and read a little deeper and dive in using the Meraki documentation. Thank you so much for viewing this video, and I hope you have a great day.
Tech, let's talk about tech, let's talk about tech. George Tech Talk. Let's talk about